I'm Jane Lazat. I am here today to talk to you about Turkey Trot for the Memory, which is a 5-mile road race walk and a 2-mile fun run that will sponsor the Massachusetts and New Hampshire chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. This is the first time that we're holding such an event in Shrewsbury Center, and the event came about because my father, Honorable Francis P. O'Connor, father of 10, I'm the 7th in line, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease back in early 2001. My father was a man who was steadfast about taking care of oneself in order to take care of others. And because of that, he taught not only his 10 children, but neighbors and community members about the benefits of eating well, exercising, having fun, living life to the fullest, being confident, kind, and happy. And because of all that, we thought, my siblings, my husband, some of the folks on the committee, Jim Heel, Dana Canzano, my nephew Liam Davidson, that one way to spread his joy would be to hold a communal event, a community event such as Turkey Trot for the Memory on Thanksgiving morning, which was my father's favorite holiday. On Thanksgiving, we welcomed many people of all walks of life into our home. Though we had a very large family already, Dad and my mother, Ann O'Connor, never ever denied anyone a seat at the table. And so we decided to raise funds in this way for the Alzheimer's Association by bringing people from all walks of life to the Shrewsbury Common to engage in something that I hope will be a very positive event, and I expect will be a very positive event for people who live in town and outside of town.
Was approached by Jane O'Connor Lazat about helping to organize this road race, and basically a no-brainer. Thanksgiving morning, good opportunity to exercise before we overindulge. Community event. Hopefully it'll become a tradition that is mirrored in so many other towns. There's other road races in Clinton, Whitensville, and it's become a real, like Thanksgiving itself, it becomes an annual tradition. And then lastly, but probably most importantly, the benefits are for the Alzheimer's Foundation. And so to combine three great things, community, Thanksgiving, and raise some money for a great cause, pretty easy.
He was well known in the community, less so for his smarts, as I say, he was a very bright man, and more so for his open heart and his kindness, and for his forever positive outlook on life, on people. He never said an unkind word about anyone, always saw the good in others, and I think what Thanksgiving meant to him, included all of those things: goodness, kindness, outreach, open heart, love. And so we couldn't think of a better way to celebrate his life and to celebrate all that we've been given than to give in this way. Actually, on the morning he found out that he was moving on to the state Supreme Court, he was out for a jog, and he was at the corner of Spring Street and Prospect when then Governor Edward King called my mother to see if my father was home, and he was not. He was out clearing his mind because, as I stated earlier, his philosophy was you had to take care of your body and mind in order to take care of others. And so, yes, he was a justice on the Supreme Court for several years. He was the father of 10, grandfather of 34. He was very actively involved in the town. He was on the zoning board. He was a very active member of St. Mary's Church. While growing up, we took in at least 8 to 9 children at one time or another.
I think it's really fitting that Jane has come up with this idea for this road race that's now involved lots of volunteers and people who've been either touched by Alzheimer's or who just love to run and be outside. What's so appropriate about Jane coming up with this concept is that when we were kids, my parents both were walkers, runners, spent a lot of time getting us outdoors. And I remember vividly a camping trip that we took where one of the oldest kids in the family was going to an interview, a college interview, and we were out in Rochester, New York, and Dad and Mom got us all out on the track to make our way around and get some of our energy out. And they got Jane, who was at that time about 7 years old, and said, "Go ahead, run around the track." Well, about an hour and 15 minutes later, she had been running and running and running. And Mom and Dad said, "Janie, it's time for you to stop. You've gone too far." And ever since that time, Jane's now 46 years old, if I can say that, and she's still running round and round and round. And all of us have kind of a tradition of being outside and working on our health, and we care very much about each other and about this community. And I think it's just wonderful that she came up with the concept and has been able to interest lots of other people who are putting in time and energy to make her vision come to be. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
My first marathon was at 22. And so I have, yes, 17 Bostons and 2 Bay State marathons under my belt. And I just keep running them because I figure at some point I'm not going to be able to, because I either get Alzheimer's disease or my body breaks down in some other way. So I figure for as long as I can do that, I would like to, and it does take a lot of time. So my family, my husband Dave, my 4 children have been very supportive in allowing me what can be hours in those early morning days throughout January, February, all the way to March and April, to take that time to put the training hours in so that I can have a successful run. So it takes a village, and I'm very happy to be a member of this community, because I think the Shrewsbury community is a village to so many people.
I know, and I got involved with the Turkey Trot for the Memory 5-mile road race and 2-mile fun walk. As a result of my experience with setting up some other races within town, I have run a number of races, and when I was some time back, I used to run a Thanksgiving race down in Fairfield, Connecticut, where my wife grew up, and I always looked at it as being a very social event. It was, yes, there was a running component to it, but people came home, you got to see your old college roommates, your college friends, and so forth. And so, as much as there was a competitive aspect, I always enjoyed it just from the social aspect. It was a part where you could bring the community back together.
Some of the things I've done to help out with this effort are, you can find us on Facebook, just search Turkey Trot for the Memory. You can also find us online at www.turkeytrotforthememory.org. You can see our flyers are posted around town in any of the local spots that you might visit.
And we hope that people will come out on a beautiful Thanksgiving morning, November 24th at 9 a.m. And if you're not a runner or a walker and you want to participate in some way, we need road guides, we need people to bake pies, because the winners of the different categories will be receiving a Thanksgiving pie as their prize. And we certainly welcome just presence, so that we know that this cause is being supported.